Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we are taking a look at the eTrailer XHD heavy duty tow bar for a Roadmaster Direct-Connect Base Plate. Now when flat towing a vehicle, there's going to be 5 main components that are going to be required and to have safe operation, but also to be legal. And those 5 components are going to start here on the vehicle, first one being your base plate. And that's just going to attach to the frame of the vehicle, and it's going to have a connection point for your arms to go in place. That way you can connect to your tow bar. Your tow bar is going to be that second component, and that's going to be the connection point between the base plate on the towed vehicle and the hitch on the RV. Moving along, we have a supplemental braking system, and that braking system is going to slow and stop the vehicle as you put the brakes on the RV, and that's going to not only help slow the vehicle combo down, but also it's going to have a disconnect switch, so in case of an accidental disconnect, that will pull that cable, putting the brakes on the vehicle, bringing it to a stop, and that way it's not rolling down the highway. It's also required in all 50 states. Another component that we have is going to be our diode wiring. And what that is essentially you're tying into your vehicle's lights, and through your 6-pole, that umbilical is going to connect to the RV. And so when you use your running lights, your turn signals or brake lights, it's going to show up on the back of your vehicle with the factory taillights. So it's going to keep you safe by letting people know what you're actually doing when towing. And your final component is going to be your safety cables. Again, just in case of an accidental disconnect, these are going to make sure that this holds on to the RV. That way you don't have a vehicle rolling down the highway by itself. Now, there's plenty of options when it comes to tow bars when you want to flat tow your vehicle, but you also want to make sure that you have one that's heavy duty enough for any vehicle that you want to tow. So definitely check the weight of the vehicle towing. But this one here is going to give you some specs that's going to really open it up to a bunch of different vehicles. And if you ever go to a larger vehicle in the future, you should be able to keep this tow bar and still be able to flat tow. Now with a name like heavy duty, you may be wondering, how much can it actually handle? And this has a weight rating of 10,500 pounds, which is going to be plenty for our towed vehicle today. But as I said earlier, you can actually put a larger vehicle later on in the future, and this is going to hold up. And plus, having something that's heavy duty on a car that's light means that you have peace of mind knowing that you are definitely covered. Now, these arms attaching to our base plate are specific to the Roadmaster. So if you have a Roadmaster base plate, as this vehicle does, this is going to be the option for you to be able to hook up. Now, I will say these pins are not included, but we actually have these here at eTrailer, and these are necessary to actually hook up to your base plate. Something else that's great about this design is the fact that you actually have a rise or a drop, and you can see that with this shank design. And why is that good? Well, today in particular, we had a vehicle that was 26 inches high at the actual receiver on the RV and 14 inches on the vehicle. So we had to make up that difference with a high-low adapter, and we put it pretty close or in that range of the 3 inches, but having this slight drop leveled this out perfectly. Now, a few other features that really help set this apart from other tow bars or even kind of match up with some of the more premium ones is the fact that your coils are going to be contained quite well, and the fact that you can see these channels that hold our safety cables here. We also have this nice rod here with a pin to kind of keep it in place for our umbilical, and that may not seem that important, but other times with other flat tow setups you have a lot of cables moving around, and it is kind of worrisome that they'll catch on things. Well, having this all actually attached is one more peace of mind that you can have while flat towing. So now that we've kind of taken a look at the actual hookup and what it's going to look like hooked up, let's take this off and put our RV into travel mode, and I'm going to show you a few more features as we move along. So one of the great things about this tow bar and kind of the industry standard is the fact that this is non-binding. And what that means is once these are in a locked position, a lot of times with some other tow bars, if they are binding ones, it's going to actually be a pain to kind of get these to retract unless you're on completely level ground. And that's not generally the case when you get to your campsite. So if you are on unlevel ground, the non-binding means that you can simply push this pin in and slide it back without having to have this locked in place. So that's a nice feature. Something else you'll notice is the fact that this is actually suspending itself. And that's something that you don't see on many other tow bars, and you have the arms dropping down, which can cause scratches. Not a big deal, but this also just makes it a lot easier to kind of raise this up to the height you need and then just draw this out without having to really pull that up. Now, as I unhook my 6-pole umbilical, it's pretty nice here. I can simply pull this pin, put our coil back, and then we can pin this up, and that's going to just keep this from actually dragging on the ground or getting in the way when we fold this up. So now when you're ready to store it and get ready to hit the road on your RV, it's going to be pretty easy here. We're just simply going to slide this over. I'm going to just lift this up into place, and you can see on this top one here, there's going to be this nice pin, and that's just going to slide into this yellow bracket. Now you can store it on either side, whatever you prefer, but once I just drop this back, I can then go ahead and do the top one, and now you can see it nice and stored. Now that you see that it's in its stored position, you could actually take this out, flip it over, and that's going to put it in that rise position, giving you even more clearance off the ground. Now, I said we have our things stored up off the ground, and here you can see we have our umbilical and safety cables that would drag along. Well, that's where this comes into play again, because we'll just simply pull our pin up, and I can actually take my safety chains, slide these on, and we'll be able to actually pin these up so they're going to stay out of the way. Now you can see this is going to be for a 2-inch receiver adapter, and it does not come with this high-low adapter, but it does come with a pin and clip, and kind of a nice little feature. The pin is actually bent out, so it's a little bit easier to get your hands on it when you want to remove your tow bar. Overall, I think this is a great looking tow bar with a lot of really nice features that's going to be something that you can keep for a long time throughout your flat towing career. And another thing that's really nice is the fact that it does have a nice black powder coat finish on it. So as long as your flat towing career, this should stay looking really nice for that lifespan. And that was a look at the etrailer XHD tow bar for a Roadmaster Direct-Connect Base Plate.